Yeah, we good?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Hello and welcome to the Finding Valor podcast. My name is Miriam and I'll be your host as we talk to a lot of incredibly unique and diverse people that have advice you've probably never heard before. Today, we'll be talking to my friend Katie, who practices green witchcraft.
Yes.
I met Katie a long time ago, but at her book club recently, she shared with me her witchcraft practice and the way that you tap into the universe and to the energies in the world. And it seemed like a really wonderful, intentional practice, mindfulness practice. And so thank you so much for coming. And
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
yay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so you grew up Catholic,
Yes, I did.
and then how did you find witchcraft?
So it actually started during Lent of 2020, and I was like, which is a Catholic thing. So it's the 40 days before Easter Sunday. So in that season, I was like, okay, I need to reconnect with something that makes me believe in something or have something tangible. And I was kind of stepping away from Catholicism at that point because it didn't align with where I felt like I was as a woman, as a person. I felt like there was more. And there was so much rich folkloric values that were embedded into various cultures that are Catholic and such like that. So I got kind of acquainted with it through that way, through almost folkloric ideas and through gardening and through energy, and it all kind of spiraled.
So who introduced you to it?
My mother, of all people. I know. People are always shocked when I'm like, yeah, I came from a really strict Catholic family. But my mom bought me my first tarot deck, which we're going to read for you today. And she was a guide, so she read tarot in college. And then when I told her that I was going on this journey, she was like, oh, I did the same thing when I was your age. And
Was there something specific in
Before you ask that question, because he'll just cut right back, take the headphones off the table. It's cluttering with everywhere.
Is that okay to throw them on the ground?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. And you're watching what he's doing?
I'm kind of back and forth.
The movement is very distracting for me, so it would make me feel a lot better if you just sat over there. Yeah, the noise is distracting. Okay, you're good?
Okay.
Okay, so you said that you were finding that Catholicism was missing some of the things you needed, or maybe wasn't treating women the way you wanted to be treated.
Yeah.
What difference in the way that women are treated in witchcraft is the most meaningful to you?
So I think it aligns a lot with who and where you are. So there's not so much of an emphasis on gender, but rather an openness to me finding myself as a woman, not to gender witchcraft, but to have this openness to femininity and creating what that looks like for me, rather than being told what that role for a woman is or what femininity is, the way that it was pictured to me as a child growing up in the Catholic Church and the things that were asked of women. Does that make sense?
Well, yes.
Okay,
What
cool.
were some of the things that were asked of women, and how have you found your own femininity?
So I would say that it kind of leans closer for the Catholic Church to have this nuclear family structure. I think that there's an idea of, this is gonna drag the church. Okay, but not to be too harsh or anything like that, but there's a sense of women who are powerful, that all of their glory is accredited to God. Okay, but then they die tragically at the end of the story, like Joan of Arc. And you're like, okay, but she did that. And then there's this ideal woman that is born and bred to bring more children into the Catholic Church, which is a structure of the church, is that you are supposed to bring kids into it. And it just felt like you either die trying, or you just take the path completely. And I didn't feel any relationship to either of those paths.
Yeah.
So
what do you feel is the path of witchcraft that you feel connected to?
So me practicing green witchcraft, it came to me being close to the earth. And while I still retain my identity with like practicing. So I use saints and stuff like that. I call on my ancestors, and I do call on like the Holy Family from the Catholic Church. So I utilize those figures and I like ask them to be in it. But I forgot the question.
It was, what's the ideal path for you, right? In terms of your religious practice and your witchcraft.
Okay.
Like, ask that question like formally, because you can just like cut right to that. So just ask it as if it was your first question.
Okay.
Yeah. What is your religious vision for yourself?
So for me, it's a good connection to myself and the earth, and then that connecting me to the divine. So while I still utilize figures from the Catholic Church, like the Holy Family and a lot of the saints that I work with, it just, and my ancestors as well, transmitting like their energy into the things that I do and bringing life, like through gardening, through working with plants, through mixing teas at the end of the day. Like
You're asking for their like guidance and support.
and like all things. So it looks a lot less like following a rule book and more like me getting creative with those energies. And honestly, if you've been like in this religious cycle for so many years, I bet they have fun hanging out. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So,
okay. I love that. I love the idea of all your ancestors and religious figures just like hanging out in heaven, helping you out with your gardening.
They might as well. I mean, like, I've had like different like candle spells and stuff like that, or like any kind of like jarred spell work where I'm like, oh, especially if I was doing something like a love spell when I was young and stuff like that. And I could just totally feel the energy be like, come on, girl. Come on.
Okay, which spirit did you call on for your love spells?
So the Virgin Mary.
Okay.
Because of like the idea that when people saw the vision of her, they wept at her beauty. And so I more fall into like, I love to do obsession spells, which is so odd. There's so many different kinds of spell work that you can do. But like I like it to have people like, I was like, I want them wrapped around my finger and all of this stuff. Like just when they see me, they're in awe. So that, and then just some of my ancestors and just like, my family's Irish, so I'd call on that side of the family because there's just such a rich connection to the craft and to spirituality there. So,
okay. So, tell me if this is an appropriate question. If somebody wanted to do a simple love spell in a jar, how would they do that?
So, so I use a lot of color theory too in witchcraft. So I would say you could, if you wanted desire, you could take obviously red rose petals, pink rose petals. You really want to think of the energy of the love that you want to bring in. So if you did want something calming and like that, you can have lavender. That's going to give you good luck. That's going to give you your kind of your push. I would say maybe some cinnamon if you wanted to spice things up. If you wanted it to come to you a little bit quicker or come, yeah. But period, end of statement.
That's the cinnamon? Because I feel like I may have missed that
yeah,
special ingredient.
cinnamon is a great one. There's a lot of like, so sugar, you can use a lot of sugar. Some people use honey. If you're going to use honey, get it from a local person, not from the store. But that's a good one. Yeah, that would be a good jar.
I love it. Okay, so then you mix these things together, whatever you want, in your jar. Could it be a mason jar with a lid?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then I seal mine with wax. So I would seal it with pink and red wax, and I have a little dripper that I'll use for the wax. So then I would draw a sigil that I have on it that I've drawn for love workings and stuff like that, whether that's self-love or love from another, and I would put that on top, and I would draw that in with the wax.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so self-love. What's a self-love spell or some ingredients for a self-love spell?
So you could do a lot of the same ingredients and bringing them in towards yourself. For self-love, I've done a lot more glamour work and stuff like that. So I'll sleep with some rose quartz and such like that, which is like drawing in crystals, which I know we have some on the table, but like the full array of them are now on display in my apartment. This is a new recent thing. But for self-love, I would say you could use a lot of the same ingredients. I would add chamomile just to be calm and gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
But that's a good one for me, I think, too. And that's also good for reducing pain if you're in pain, like physically. So
Having some chamomile.
yeah.
Okay. Could somebody, do you think, like how much is this open to like your own thing? Like if I wanted to make a tea and set intention and drink like a tea with all these ingredients or something.
If you wanted to, you can stir your intentions in with a spoon when you stirred your tea. There's so much, like, I almost was afraid to like talk about it because I'm like, there's so many people who will gatekeep and be so strict on like what you can and can't use for what. As somebody who grew most of their herbs and stuff themselves, or like did a lot of that handiwork, themselves, you can't really like, unless it's like something obvious, like obviously like you wouldn't put like a dead bee in a love spell. Like I would be like, that's feeling a little out of place. It's so much of it is vibes and so much of it is truly trusting your intuition, which is something that like grew within myself and gave me so much more confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so a dead bee could be for like, you want to like forgiveness. Maybe that's a forgiveness thing or to get somebody else to go ahead.
A hex.
I was scared you were going to say that.
Which, done those too. I am not one of those people who's like, you're the worst person in the world for doing that. No, sometimes you just have to send that energy straight back to them. And that's fine. Like if that's what the game we're playing, then let's both play. But yeah.
Okay. I love that. Okay, so you were talking a little bit about your ancestors, a little bit about gardening, and you've told me that sometimes you'd pour beer and whiskey into your garden for your ancestors. What's that about?
A long line of alcoholic family, and they love it because they're Irish. I had the best garden in town. So this was during 2020, and everything was pretty much shut down, and a lot of people didn't want to go out to the grocery stores. A lot of people just didn't want to be out and about. So I would grow like all kinds of veggies. They were huge. They were delicious. My garden, I would go work in it every morning, but I would leave out offerings. So I would do rose quartz in my garden, fill it with love, give it like offerings to the garden and stuff like that. And then I would so first of all, the beer kills snails. It's just such a great like way to kind of like get rid of snails and also be like, this is for y'all. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I love that.
Yeah, the whiskey was purely for them. Sometimes I had to sub it out for rum. I would also leave like on my altar in my room, I would have wine. And so every now and then, like if you can tell when I'm really going through it, if there's like a glass of wine, not on my nightstand, on my dresser with all of my candles at my altar, then you'll be like, oh, he's going through something. Just give her some time.
Wait, if there's candles?
No. Oh, there's always candles. No, wine. Like a little glass of wine.
Means
I'm
you're
like,
going through it.
Yes, because I'm like, I need some help. I'm buttering them up. Like, if there's candy, my grandmother was a big stoner. So I would leave edibles for her on the altar too.
I'm obsessed with you. Okay, so what? So let's say, so then what? Then is that it? What do you do with the sacrifice or the offering? Do you use it? Do you throw it out? Do you give it to the earth?
So it's up to you. You can pour them out and give them to the earth if you want. Sometimes I just toss it if it's been a long time. I'm like, all right, thank you so much. Hope y'all liked it,
Mm-hmm.
And I would leave it for like, depending on what it was, I would leave it for a day or overnight. Or sometimes like if it was just like whiskey or something, I kind of wait for it to evaporate a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's really up to you, but I recommend not I was big on composting the stuff too, like once you use it. So one thing with spell work to not do is like throw salt. So if there's something salty, you don't want to like, because that'll kill plants, you know, like with the osmosis and this, that, and the other. You're not supposed to put salt on them. So, you know.
So don't throw out the salt.
Don't throw out salt. But anything else, like, yeah, you can give it back to the earth if you want to chuck it. If it's gone rotten, chuck it. But yeah.
Compost it. Yeah.
Compost.
Yeah, love it. Okay, good. So we just talked about throwing stuff out, and earlier, because you brought these headscarves for me to wear, if we were talking about accessories, we were going to try them on.
Yes.
And yeah, you shared a little bit about why witches may cover their hair.
Yes, and you had some input on this as well, which I'm so excited to hear.
You were saying that witches cover their hair because your hair has so much energy in it.
Yes.
And so you want to protect it, tie your hair. And I was saying that in Judaism, first of all, married women cover their hair, which is, you know, I appreciate knowing that maybe this is where it's coming from, even though I've never heard that before, right? Because I've always thought it was just like minimizing towards women and like, why do I need to cover my hair? And, but now, right, this is like a new perspective. So I appreciate that. And there is a Jewish concept when you cut your nails that because it's a part of your body that you don't throw it out. And so you, like my mom would flush it down the toilet, or people save it and bury it with other documents and things like that because it's coming from you. So it felt, similar, right?
Yes, and whenever we're talking about this too, it's like there's a word for it. I call it like a stamp, and it's a stamp of your DNA. And if somebody wanted to attach something to you, like you could, if you were doing a spell work for a friend, and you wanted it to be like directly mailed to them, hair, nails, blood, like skin if you want, I guess. I don't know how you would do that. But things like that. Hair and nails are a really big like little tag of somebody and to send something their way. And so it makes so like it's stuff like parts of your body should be like, you know, you want to protect. If you're like concerned with somebody doing ill with it. It also goes into the way like Cam will leave his hair, my boyfriend, he will leave his hair on like clumps on like the floor. And I'm like, I don't want to step on his hair because I love him so much. Or like I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
Well, that's so. No, I appreciate that. Well, there's a thing that also your nails, we like collect them, right? You don't just like cut your nails. You kind of cut them and collect them and either bury them or whatever you do with them. But yeah, you don't want to step on them. And so I once went to a nail salon that had a lot of religious women that would go there, and they said, and the lady at the salon was telling me like, yeah, we need to be very careful because, and again, you don't want to step on it. Especially they would say like pregnant people shouldn't step on the nails.
Ooh,
I don't know.
why is that?
I'm not sure. I was hoping you would tell me.
The only thing I would think of is that it has something to do with protecting like the energy of the child too, because they're also still growing. So like what they come into the earth with, or like what energy the mother absorbs, the child absorbs.
Oh, interesting. I love
Yeah.
that. Slash, I'm scared of that.
Me too. Like, okay.
Okay. Oh, you said that the earth tells us and gives us more than we think about or listen to.
Yes.
What are some things that the earth has told you?
That sounds like so hippy dippy of a statement. But I think that there's so many signs. So where I really mean to go with that is there's an idea of like naming. I name my plants. I think of them as like children. I love them. But there's also the idea of naming a plant after somebody and seeing how that person is doing. So one day you'd be taking regular care of your plant, blah, blah, blah. You name it after the person. You give their name to the plant. And that person isn't doing well, and all of a sudden your plant is sick. There's bugs on it. There's something going on with it. That's telling. Like, that's a telling of that person's essence and stuff like that. If it starts dying and stuff, I would, consider that person, consider the friendship. Not that person's going to die, but just like maybe that person's not doing well. Maybe something's going on with that person. Maybe somebody put something on that person. Maybe it's just time to phone a friend, and things like that. And I think that there's so much to be said for like the seasons and like to listening to the world. And I think that we really see it and hear it all differently and all independently. Us being in the city, I think it's a little harder to be in tune with nature and like with what's going on. But I do think that the earth kind of gives us signs of like what's going on. And I think that like, you know, you can attach value to anything. It's like they say, like if you're looking for pink cars, all of a sudden you'll see a bunch of pink cars. So trying not to do that, but like looking for signs from the universe and stuff like that. Like, you know, maybe you're thinking of somebody and you hear their favorite song playing down the street. That's cute. Like there's stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I do think that the earth speaks to us, both whether you're intentionally working with it or if you're just existing in it. I still think that there's something like reaching out.
Totally. I feel that all the time. I don't know if you heard my recent story of God booking me a flight to Florida. This is true.
Tell me.
So this is true. I'm laying in bed a couple of weeks ago and I get an email saying flight booked to Florida. And I'm like, that's weird. I didn't book a flight to Florida. I asked my husband, did you book a flight? He was like, no. I called my mom. My mom lives in Florida. I called her. I'm like, hey, like, did you book me a flight to come visit you? She said, no. I spoke to my whole family. I spoke to all my friends. Like, did you book me a flight? And they were like, no. I'm like, okay, like, that's really weird, but it's a real flight. Like, I checked the confirmation number. It was with JetBlue. Like, it was a real flight. And I'm like, what, is somebody going to kidnap me? Like, what's going to happen? So I went to the airport and I took this flight and I go to Florida and I visit my mom. And while I'm there, and my mom is really active and she's amazing. And while I was there, she ended up in the hospital, and, which was really, really scary.
Absolutely. How is she doing?
She's doing good. Yeah, she doesn't have any pain anymore, thank God. She's doing a lot better. I mean, it was scary for her, scary for me, but it was just like the fact that I was there was just, I was like, the universe did this.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were right where you needed to be for her.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's outstanding. The universe talks and whispers to everybody else. It screams at you, Miriam. It's like, go here now.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and it's only because I've started really listening to a thing. I mean, that's different. But feeling like I don't need to find an answer for this. I don't need to like, people were like doing like deductive research. They were like, maybe there's somebody with your name and your birthday that booked a flight to Florida and it got to your email. I'm like,
that's
maybe
a lot of like effort.
Yeah. So maybe,
gosh.
but I like to think that God or the universe wanted me to be there.
Yeah. I mean, that's just insane.
Okay, but this is about you. Okay, so you've started practicing witchcraft less recently.
Yes.
What's that about, and how are you reconnecting? I know that's something you want.
So I did slow down on practicing, and that is a lot because of, it was easy in Texas to practice because I had the land to garden, to grow things, to bring things up with intention. And then I know that was so important because like you're consuming and giving the fruits of your labor. And you're like, it's just such a magical thing. I think there's so much to be said about consumption as just like an allegory for things. That's the right word, right? An allegory? Metaphor? Oh. But
Wrong person to ask. But what do you mean? What do you mean?
But like, I think that it's just so beautiful to like grow something and then to bring it into yourself.
Yeah.
And to have that. Like,
it is metaphorical.
You know, but I had the space to do that. My room looked like a greenhouse when I was there. I had this space. I had just like the resources. Nothing was happening. It was 2020 when I started. I also had 2 close friends who practiced. And I kind of, as they say, came out of the broom closet. It's a joke. To them, and they were in the same thing. And it was just like all 3 of us, for whatever reason, had picked it up at the same time and had gotten into this at the same time. And we kind of fed off of each other and played off of each other. So I would have friends to go foraging in the woods with. And so we would get a lot of our stuff that we wanted to work with through just going out, being like, hey, is this cool? Asking the earth if we can take from it and all this stuff. And then it was very hippy-dippy, really.
I love that. Would you have called yourselves a coven?
Honestly, I would have, but I think that so not to spill tea, but just to say, like, there was some drifts apart in that group, but the group itself, like, one time we were doing tarot readings, all the three of us. We were rolling blunts, and the lights in the room, it was perfect weather. Absolutely clear, absolutely sunny out, absolutely beautiful. Light bills were paid. And the lights just start flickering while we're pulling cards and stuff like that. And we were like, that's crazy. And we would go to metaphysical shops together. So I really had somebody to, like, experience this lifestyle with me and the practice with me, rather than, like, having, like, it be something to ogle at, which it kind of feels like from people on the outside, like, looking in to some capacity, from people who just, like, don't understand it. And they're like, what are you doing? Like, you're like, oh, we're going to a metaphysical shop. And they're like, you're going to pay $14 for a rock? And I'm like, yeah, I am going to pay. I like this rock. I actually need it. So, you know, it's one of those things where it makes sense. It just made so much more sense. And now I'm reconnecting with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does that look like in New York City?
So, a little less gardening and a lot more making a nice cup of tea at the end of the day. A lot more, I love to do spells with the, like, with the bath, at bath time, throwing, like, rose petals or a cup of milk into the bath, and, like, or some, like, red wine into the bath, like, pouring that into the water and washing with it, and seeing, like, really feeding into myself again, which is nice, and giving to myself through that. And Cam has already agreed that we are getting a big, like, stacked shelf to put against there's a wall in my apartment, right? So you know where my couch is and where the TV is, and then, like, this is the TV, this would be the couch, like, this would be the couch, and then right here on this wall, I was like, I have so many more books that I need to buy, and so many more plants that I need to buy. And he was like, okay. And I was like, and I really want us to get herbs so that, like, we can grow the things that we, like, bring into ourselves. And I think it's healthier that way. I'm one of those people who's like, no, you don't need to get it at the store.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that for you. Well, you're welcome to come garden on my balcony whenever you want.
Oh my gosh, Miriam, you'll never get rid of me. I'll be there.
I love that.
I'll have, like, zucchinis growing up the balcony. I'm like, Miriam.
I'm ready. You don't even know. Okay, cool. So we've talked about most of the things. You were going to do a tarot reading for me, and then we were going to talk more about your relationship with Cam, because I love you guys so much, and I feel like you have so much wisdom there. So
let me gather these cards really quick. I am going to have to stand and get them going.
Okay.
Okay. So I have tarot cards, but I also have oracle cards.
Okay. And what's the difference?
So oracle cards are going to give us a little bit more clarity. Tarot cards have the major and minor arcana. These are pretty, like traditional tarot reading, like traditional cards. I have a friend who's way better at this than me, by the way, and I thought about, like, being like, oh my God, Ivy.
I have heard that you are amazing, and I trust that infinitely.
I appreciate that. She learned how to do this because her family wasn't, I don't think, as open. So she learned by doing it with like a deck of cards, like playing cards.
Oh.
Which is super, like, classic kind of thing. That is so... do you want me to lay these cards too? Like, do you want me to pull for you and then do them?
I have no idea what any of those things are that you just said.
Okay. Okay, so first and foremost, I would say think of, like, tell me what I'm reading for.
Okay. I'd love for you to read for the success of my creativity projects.
Okay.
I'm working on this podcast. I'm working on a book, on my writing. Is that too broad? Is that specific enough?
No, that is perfectly specific. Okay, so before I read, I usually pray. So I would do an Our Father and a Hail Mary over
Okay.
them. Again, raised Catholic, practicing witchcraft, crazy stuff. But that's what I do. So that's going to be like a little blip of a second.
Can I do like my own prayer that's meaningful to me?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Okay, let me put
beautiful.
the cards out in the center. And then just let me know when. We'll start.
I'm going to just bring up the blessings. I actually don't know what they are. But I want to say it because it's actually meaningful to me. Yeah.
While you're looking at that, just keep in mind the camera is pretty much going right down the center of the table.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we can see over there where it's going to be.
So that's, camera 4 on the bottom right.
Oh,
so if
sweet.
you want anything captured, like just kind of,
Slide in,
I think just sort of, this way across the
angle it
table.
here.
I think you're going to really like this prayer that I'm going to. I literally like it, so now I've decided you're going to like it.
Okay, no, that's perfect.
So I'm going to do it, okay?
Okay. Here. We can go with your prayer and I'll just do like my little sign of the cross before and after.
Okay.
That should be fine. They're cleansed cards.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Elohai neshama shenasata bi tohorahi atavarasa atayatarta atanafachta bi v'ata mishmara b'kirbi v'ata asid litzla mimani ulachzira bi liasid lavo kol zaman shaneshama b'kirbi modani levanacha Adonai Elohai Elohei avosai ribon kol hamazim adon kol haneshamos baruch atah Adonai hamachzir neshamos lifkarim mesim. Say amen. The prayer is that I'm saying that God give me my soul and that it's pure and that as long as this soul is in me, I am thankful. And that is the prayer.
That's beautiful and I love that. Okay. Let's get started, I guess. If you're ready. So for all of your creative projects, not just the podcast, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
People are going to judge my shuffling, but these cards are so old and cardboardy.
And they're pure. What does that mean that they're pure?
They're cleansed. I was like, I took good care of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if it happened if they weren't cleansed?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you have to do a thing to cleanse them?
I mean, I'll pray over my cards. I will ask for guidance through them. I hate reading for myself because I get absolutely like obliterated by my spirit guides. They're like, you need to eat and drink water and go to bed. And I'm like thinking that there's some like magical like essence of things like I could be doing and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, actually, you need a nap. So you have not been kind to yourself. And I'm like, okay, well, didn't need to hear that. They'll call me out, my cards. So I'm always excited to read for you.
Okay, I'm nervous.
Don't be. Let me just see if this is for the success of the podcast, of the creative projects that Miriam is working on, for everything that strikes her interest. And just let us know how it's going to go. Ooh, lordy. Okay. Goodness gracious. Okay. We'll try to do like 3 cards, and then whatever flies, flies.
Oh.
Okay, so we have the King of Wands. I'm going to have to slide that over. 5 of Pentacles. Is that coming? Okay. So we're going to read these like this.
I think, is that good? Yeah.
Yeah, so that I can take a gander at them, and then I'm still going to use my little guidebook.
I think pull them back a little bit.
Back here.
Yeah. Perfect.
Perfect. Okay. I still need my guidebook because I'm just a knee-high to a grasshopper.
Okay.
Like I'm just a baby. But you have the King of Wands. It's all the way at the back. So this is natural leader, visionary, and an entrepreneur. So it represents having fire with your ideas, finesse, intention. So this is really just you creating goals for yourself, it says, with clarity in your imagination. So it really sees you like it says, eye on the prize. So these
Okay.
are some things where it's like you are fully in control of what's going on with this. And you are like leading the efforts, you know, you're sparing no one, you know.
Okay.
You've got this kind of in the bag per se. Yeah, you're
Amen.
really in charge of this. So you're, yeah, the entrepreneur spirit.
Okay. I feel like that is true, but
I mean,
there's
yeah.
a lot of creativity and intention.
So with the Five of Pentacles, it comes with like loss, misfortune. Don't worry. This is just trials and tribulations. So this is just a time of like hardship. So
I'm not ready for that.
okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
but you have these two.
Everything's going to be hard. You know what I mean? There's always challenges. There's always learning and growth, and it's good to be prepared.
You
know,
have
it's
these
not.
two together too. So you're like leading your own way.
Yeah, and
So-
we'll overcome the trials and tribulations.
Nothing without conflict is ever going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to have it happen. It also says you'd be surprised how many people are willing to support you in your periods of trouble.
Okay. Good.
So you're
So
not
reach out for
alone.
help. I'm going to need some help.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have that going for you. The Eight of Swords in reverse is awakening, liberation, and being open to change. So if we're reading these in kind of like an order, like you're coming in hot, you're coming in strong, you're doing the damn thing. The road is gonna get tough. It's a rocky road ahead of you. And you just need to go with it, you know? So kind of playing with these two cards, I would suggest when you see that, again, reaching out, having that circle, but also, yeah, like being open and going with the flow in it.
Yeah.
So don't be like, just be open to it. Be open to the path. Be open to what's going on. With the Ace of Swords, we're just here. This is clarity, pure power, and breakthrough. So one of the things is your potential is at an all-time high, claiming your personal power. You're able to cut through the noise and see clearly the path you want to take. So again, being open to things, getting ideas as you go. I could see being a tool for you. I could see your mind being almost like a weapon in all of this and being like something that you are going to fight with. Like, I don't see anything roadblocking you. I see you taking everything in stride, using the people around you as a part of it. Like, I see you kind of as this like leader right now, and like kind of like it's like a warrior in your own creativity, like your own creativity.
Thank you.
And you really getting through
Yeah.
in this way. Yeah, using your mind like a weapon is what I am seeing and like hearing.
Okay.
With the Knight of Cups. We have emotional elation and adoration. So usually, like, there's this card is like a big one for love interest, but we are not applying it in that sense. It's more so that
People are going to find my podcast and love it.
yes, I could absolutely see that, but I feel like this is you turning into yourself.
Oh, why do you say that?
So just because of they're like romantic inquiries and all this stuff, but it's like this high energy and this passion. And the Knight of Cups urges you, as this quote, to shine a light on your vision and encourages you to take the plunge. And I could see that being from within yourself, especially if we had this happen in like linear order, like you gaining like this as a thing, like I said, this being like, yeah, your mind is like this weapon, and I could see you hoisting this forward and kind of battling through things with your own creativity and your own light, and then that being, you're almost in these projects, I think, training your mind and stuff like that. So it kind of feels like right now you're doing a lot of like the grunt work and the hard stuff and getting it, like you're sharpening I keep on saying like yeah, you know, with all of the sword energy, like I could see you sharpening like your blade per se, and that being your mind, and then you being able to really fall in love with this and relax into it in a way that's different and new. And like this sense of falling into yourself, falling in love with yourself, you know, bringing it into yourself.
Okay.
And so that's what I see.
Okay, I love it. Thank you.
Yes. And then we can get some clarity though,
Okay.
because there's always room for more. With the
Can
oracle
I
cards.
ask a question about the potential trouble and get to a little bit more of a specific thing, or do we want to stay on this path?
We can ask about that. Yeah, with some clarity for the Five of Pentacles.
Okay. Because so I have had a couple of ideas related to Jewish women, Jewish women's role, and scriptures related to Jewish women that feel pretty novel, which has been like a long time goal of mine, is to reimagine the role of Jewish women. And it was starting to feel a little hopeless because so much of what keeps them down and what keeps us down is like ingrained. But recently I had 2 breakthroughs that I think are really exciting, and I've been writing about them, and they are, everybody who reads them or hears them says like, well, what is it, a call to action? Is it awareness? Like, what is it? And I'm nervous because it's a community that I'm no longer a part of, that I feel so passionate for. And these women are people that I care deeply about. And so I just want to know, is that going to go well? Like, I don't know. I just want to know things about that.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Okay.
I'm nervous about it.
So yeah,
I wonder if that's some of the trials and tribulations that may be coming my way.
we can pull some cards and see. So specifically for what you're asking about at hand. So for specifically what you're asking about, with that, this is my Southern Oracle deck, and I don't know who the creator was, so I can't give any clout, but it's my favorite one. And I just feel like I had to do that because it's a small business.
We have to get the name. Okay, we'll tag them. Okay.
Shout out to this person. She wrote me a note and everything.
So you'll find it for us.
I will.
Okay.
But so you have a little something I threw together, and that is accomplishment, triumph, self-esteem, confident talents, accolades, and fame. So that's this one right here.
Okay.
It's so cute. I love this deck.
It's giving like I should keep going down this path, and it's
absolutely.
giving dessert. It's
It
giving
doesn't.
good.
It doesn't get any more successful than that card. So yes, please pursue this path. And then for the other, so just for the trials and tribulations, waiting is what I see, relaxing and going with the flow. So maybe not rushing things. It's the I'll get around to it card. Just a little bit more on that. If we can.
That's very hard for me to do, just like in general. So
Okay. Well, this is where I feel like it's being a little bit blocked because it's saying like arrogance, self-importance, blah, blah, blah. And that's not it. That's just you being blocked. We're not going to be able to really get to the bottom of this. I'm a big believer that sometimes if a card doesn't make sense, it's because you are not supposed to know. And something that doesn't make sense following a card that's saying like, what's the rush? You'll see. It seems like that's a path that you're going to have to go down to, like, you're going to just have to keep trucking through and see. I do believe in, like, I've had times where I'll have a reading that makes absolutely no sense and it doesn't do anything. And it's just because your spirits, your ancestors, your spiritual team, who's ever with you is saying it's sometimes you have to go into life blind and there's nothing that you can change about it. You just have to go in and face the music and see what the song is. So, yeah.
okay, well, thank you. I feel
course.
empowered and supported.
You are. You've got it going on.
So we're gonna switch gears in a second.
Okay.
Talk about you and Cam, but before we do that, if somebody wants to explore a little bit more of what we've been talking about and kind of start their own little witchcraft spirituality journey, what would you suggest that they do?
So researching is a really important part of it because there are closed practices, and those are practices that belong to indigenous groups, that belong to various religious groups, different diasporas that wouldn't be open to that person. So like voodoo is a big one. There's a lot that I would say research what you're doing.
Is there a website that you used or a book that you started out with that helped you?
Okay, so there's one, and I think it's called like The Path of the Green Witch, and that's what I use because that's what, first of all, researching different kinds of witchcraft is so helpful. And setting those boundaries and rules with yourself and seeing what you're open to and what you're not. When I first dived in, there would be no way I would have fathomed doing a hex, and then I got more comfortable in the craft, and I was like, okay, yeah,
There's a time and a place.
there is, and controversial opinion, by the way.
Yeah.
But hey, so it's also a lot of naysayers, and whether that's somebody being like, I don't believe you. Okay, well, just wait and watch what happens. Like, it's gonna, like,
Yeah.
okay, if I give you a card reading and says and you're like, I want a love reading, and it's the Tower, which happened to me one time, and I was like, yeah, don't worry, because she had death, and then she had the Tower, and I was like, and like the Three of Swords, and I was like, you and your boyfriend might be like on the rocks, girl. Like I would check in on that. And she was like, nah. She's like, do you think? And I was like, well, you're crying and you're asking me for a tarot reading. And that is Hosanna, who is my best friend. And that was really one of the first ways that we actually got to know each other.
Oh, wow.
Fun fact.
Okay.
I was like, yeah,
and she's the one
I
who
don't know.
said, Katie must do a reading for you. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you. And thank you, Hosanna, for sharing your mini story.
Okay, I know. I love Hosanna. All
Okay.
love.
Yes. Okay. So, yeah, I love I love your boyfriend, Cam.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about your relationship?
I could talk about him all day. Like, just my man kind of a girl. So, I guess one of the things like that is striking is that Cam and I we're a bit of an age gap couple, just because he's 29, I'm 23 now. Yeah, I'm 23. So it's like, but it's not terrible age gap. It's pretty reasonable. And we come from different cultures. Camilo is Bolivian. I was raised in Southeast Texas. So, yeah. What about our relationship? I would have to ask.
Yeah, specifically, you guys moved in together.
Yes.
You created a lot of rules. You created the rules. You initiated this rule setting, and I love them.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, you know me. I love rules and I love order. Both of my parents were Virgos, and Camilo's a Virgo, and I just grew up and I love rules and I love to put them into place. And Camilo likes structure, so it's fine. But our rules. So we have so many like little ones, but I didn't want us to have like, first of all, I didn't want to pretend to be married. I was like, I'm not your wife. I have no intention on pretending to be your wife. So I was like, separate bedrooms. I don't want to go to sleep and wake up to you every morning and then pay bills together and then pay rent together. And then I was like, we need space. And I thrive in my own space, and so does he. We also have different lifestyles, so that helped us. One of our rules is to have, like, we're only allowed to spend 3 nights in a row together. Like, we can not back to back, every time. I break that rule all of the time, Miriam. Especially with him. He was gone for 7 weeks.
That was horrible.
We've been in the same bed every night. I'm like, come on, Cam, it's bedtime. Literally. So now we have bedtime as a rule.
The genuine opposite. Okay.
Oh my God, yeah.
But you were kind of sharing that this is coming from that age gap. That's where you wanted some extra freedom. Yeah.
So I think that there's so much pressure to kind of bend to a man or to follow a man, at least from where I've come from culturally and stuff like that. Like, I've never seen a man kind of following like a woman's lead, or like letting her lead her life. And Camilo's the only person that I've ever met that was secure enough in himself to be like, yeah, do whatever you need to do. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so we have those rules just in place because of that. And I was like, I don't want my entire life to be defined entirely by this relationship. And there's so much of life that he's done. Camilo's lived in Bolivia. He's lived in Argentina. He's lived out in New York. So he did all of these, he's been all of these amazing places. He's done all of these amazing things. He's been around the block a few times. Like, he's done his thing. And so when we met, I was like, I don't want my life to stop. And I was so genuinely afraid, Miriam, that my life was going to be like put on pause, or like I wouldn't get these things because I met the man of my dreams at a younger age. And he was like, no, like, those are your dreams. He's like, I did the same thing when I was your age. Like, go ahead. Like, I want you to do those things. And he wants me to experience life. He wants me to go new places and stuff like that. And if I want to decorate my room full of pink flowers and fairies and whatever I want, I have a space to do that, and he is more than welcome to be invited in. More than welcome to knock on the door and be a part of that, the same way he has his space, which is where all of his sound engineering stuff is and all of his life and whatever he wants to do and however he wants to decorate and however he wants to express himself. And I'm welcome in his life, and he's always welcome in mine. And so we have that, like, independence from each other.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My other favorite thing is when you talk about, like, how you said to him, sometimes, like, I don't want to do dinner. I just want a block of cheese.
Yes.
And don't bug me.
Yeah.
Like, don't even try to do dinner with me because I'm eating a block of cheese and watching TV.
Yeah.
And am I getting it right? Is there
That's
more?
valid. And
Yeah.
before it was girl dinner, it was small Victorian child dinner. And I would put on Outlander, and I would have like a piece of like bread and cheese and like a glass of wine and like fruits. Like, I would make like a little plate, and it would look like whatever they were eating in, what is that, like the 1700s? And I was like, this is my dinner. I would be in like a long robe. Like, I have some floor length ones, and I'm like, this is me. And I just hit the mic. But oops. But there's but no, I'm like, this is me. There is like, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but I have those like antique candle holders, like where you can walk around like Scrooge. And I do. And I need that sometimes. Okay. Like, I just need to like go into, that's just how I need to be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, leave me alone because I don't want, and he'll look at me and I'll have like antique nightgowns and everything. Like, he's like, you look like a grandmother. And I'm like, you need to go play outside. Like, you need to go do whatever it is you're going to do. Because,
Make your own dinner.
Yeah, make your own dinner. Go eat whatever you want to eat. If you want to eat chicken and rice and creatine, that's all you, bud. Like, go ahead. Not hating. Camilo's a great cook, but that would be his dinner all of the time. It'd just be a protein and a protein.
I love that for him. Okay, so thank you. Yeah. And you wrote, I love that I found a partner that wants to work alongside me rather than asking me to play a supporting role.
Yeah.
I love that.
Me too, honestly. I don't think I could have ever been with somebody and just been a fragment of myself or been something in relationship to somebody. I've always been so myself.
Good.
And it's always been like a thing where it was almost dreadful for my mother. She was like, oh my God, this is my karma. And I was like, well, yeah.
Well,
So.
yeah, it's awesome. I mean, that is what I
Thank
love about you guys. It's, you feel it. So, I'd love to have my guests share like a piece of advice for the people listening, something that you think is, that you'd like everybody to hear, or that's been really important for you.
Can I look at what I wrote?
You totally can.
Okay, cool. Because I was like, I really popped off with that. I felt like.
I might not have kept the whole thing. I just kept a note to remind myself.
Okay. Do you want to ask me again?
Sure. Yeah. What advice would you have for people, especially women listening to this podcast?
So I would say that I'd like to see more women centering themselves in their life. I think that for so much of our lives, we're told to center our partners, center our families as they get older, as we get older, center children. And we are always in the background. We are either wife or spouse or girlfriend or partner or mother or caretaker. And I would love to see more women putting themselves first and giving themselves back their name. Gift yourself your name, be who you are. For me, it looks like me saying, yeah, I'm Katie. I'm not just Camilo's partner. I'm not just this, that, and the other. I'm me. And that's great. And that's enough. And I like what I like. And I like what I like, not like because somebody else likes it, you know what I mean? Or not just because it's the only thing my boyfriend wants to eat for dinner. I don't want to eat that food. I want to eat that food because I want to eat that food, and he can eat whatever he wants. Yeah. And all of these things. So I would just love to see more women centering themselves and doing things for themselves in whatever that looks like for them, but to reclaim their identities, because there's nothing worse, I think, than seeing women kind of get erased in positions where they should be shining. They should be like giving them their flowers, giving them their credit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you. I love that.
Thank you.
Okay, I have. I know we're supposed to be done, but I did have one question, which is what's up with the milk in the bath?
Okay, so milk in the bath is really hydrating for your skin. I know a lot of people do like oat milk or oats and whole milk for eczema. One of the things that I did just in practicing green witchcraft is learning, before I even did that, was learning about different like foraging times, different herbal medicines, and different herbal remedies. So I studied a lot about like herbal medicine and all this, that, and the other. But milk in the bath is a pretty old school thing, and it's really good for your skin and really hydrating. And it also turns the water really milky, which looks beautiful if you have some rose petals on top of it. So 10 out of 10 will recommend.
10 out of 10 recommend.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. And so toxic, maybe. But something that I have been thinking about is like, how do I take this into a clip? You know, like, what does this look like in social media? How do I take this conversation and bring it to social media? And that was like at the back of my mind. And what's crazy is that I was not expecting when we started this podcast to be like, I think coming out of this podcast is going to be the three ways you didn't know that witchcraft and Judaism are alike.
Oh.
Yeah. Because the name thing, right? And that you name the plant, and that we do a lot of naming. There's a lot of giving, names have a lot of energy. And also we name after people. And so if you want to, like, I'm named after my great grandmother. And so I'm imbued hopefully with her energy, and also Miriam from the Bible, who was a leader. And so I was like, I didn't know that witchcraft had this component of names as well as some of the other things we talked about.
That's beautiful. I would, if you ever like were curious too within yourself about it, I would see if there's like Jewish folk magic too, because that
is breaking rules, but I will look into it.
Okay, I was gonna say, ooh, just kidding. But there's like, because I know Catholics have taken a lot of things from like paganism, and like we redid a lot of the holidays, how like a lot of the celebrations and stuff like that. But so there's old like Irish, there's like Cajun, and like not voodoo, but like Cajuns had their own thing too, and then Italians have their own folk magic and stuff like that. So even like centering around the region where your family descended from, and being like, what's going on over there?
Like there's at least some folk magic, because we talked about covering the hair, we talked about the nails and protecting the nails.
Yeah.
So there's stuff happening.
There's stuff happening.
How are we doing on time? We're amazing. We're at 59 minutes and 11 seconds.
Wow.
We're unreal.
We did it.
Okay.
Well, thank you. This was so fun. This was just like chit-chatting.
Yeah, this is great. Okay, I'm excited. Okay. Thank you. Anything you want to say in your last final goodbye?
I would like to tell you how amazing you are and how proud I am of you, how much success that I wish to you, and how much joy. I cannot wait to be updated where am I going to be able to listen to the podcast? Where will I be able to stream it?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think it's going to be on all the different podcast sites, Spotify, Apple
Spotify?
Music, all those, YouTube. 'cause we have
Okay.
all this video content.
So that we can share links and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm so proud of you, Miriam. And yes, continue writing those stories and writing about that telling, because that is like an amazing card. That's fantastic. That's a yes.
That's
a
hard
resounding yes. So yeah.
Yay, thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Miriam.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Outro?
No outro.